Hey, thanks for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we are tracking storms across the plains and across the Tennessee Valley tonight, tomorrow, and down to the southeast as we head into Friday. Thanks for joining us today. What we're watching for over the last 24 hours was a lot of snow across the northeast. Now we're switching from the northeast all the way down to the southern plains, where we have strong wind and very dry conditions out there, increasing that fire risk once again today. We absolutely need some rain in this area, and unfortunately, it's not coming anytime soon. We won't get any rain across the plains or across the southern plains where we need it the most until March. But then by that point, we're going to have storms moving in. Early March, it looks like we could have several rounds for severe weather, and we'll talk about exactly where that could be here in just a few minutes. But first, I want to get to that severe weather outlook for today. So you can see that we have recently been upgraded to a marginal risk down in the southern side or southwestern Nebraska, northeastern Colorado, and northwestern Kansas. So this includes McCook, Nebraska. We've got a marginal risk, a level 1. On a scale of 5. And then we've got just some garden variety thunderstorms, most likely not going severe, anywhere from Colorado all the way up to Wyoming, as far east as Tennessee and the Carolinas. I mean, this spans a very, very large portion of the U.S. What does this mean? Well, your severe risk is going to be very isolated and mainly out in the plains. Strong wind is going to be your biggest hazard today, but small hail is also possible here. Honestly, as I was looking at severe risks for tomorrow, I think there's an area in Mississippi and Alabama that we could see some larger hail tomorrow, and we'll take a look at that here in just a few minutes. Other than that, it's mainly a wind risk with these storms over the next 3 days. So we've outlined that for you there in red. Let's take a look at what's happened over the last 24 to 48 hours, because if you watched our forecast yesterday, I did the forecast yesterday from Denver. That was a really, really fun event. But what we talked about in the forecast yesterday was we talked about all of that snow out in our New England states. Over 40 inches of snow in New Jersey in about 24-hour time span. I mean, that is crazy. That's a lot of snow. That's too much snow, many could argue, in this area. So we're thinking about everyone who is now working on getting out of their driveway, getting out of their homes, getting back on the roads, hopefully sometime soon, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. It doesn't look like we're going to see significant melting anytime soon. Now we're pretty dry across the U.S. We had a little bit of snow moving across the northern plains and into the Midwest over the last 24 hours. For the most part, we're pretty dry out there other than a few lingering showers. And in these areas, we've got showers right now. That's where we're going to have our big soaker today. We're going to have a ton of rain from Kentucky to Tennessee, Missouri, southern Illinois. We're getting some really nice rainfall in here as this low pressure system, as this cold front continues to dip to the south. Where are we watching for those storms? There you go. You can see some rain moving in right now out of Wyoming and into Nebraska, but we should see better chances for storms later on this afternoon. Now here's a look at your rain. No snow right now for the most part in our New England states. Maybe a few lake effect snow bands going on right now. We've got a little bit of cloud cover down in the southeast, and then we've got the showers across the plains. Nothing severe right now, but we could see better chances for severe weather in just a few hours. A nice warm up today, 65 in Denver, 55 in Kansas City, 67 in Oklahoma City, 51 in Billings. It's really nice for just about everyone except for Minneapolis. It's cold up there, 18 degrees in Minneapolis, very, very cold. Warm and dry weather today with a lot of wind is causing that fire concern. So we have a red flag warning going on, highlighted there in pink, hot pink color there. That lighter pink is a winter storm warning where we've got a little bit of snow going on, but it's really the blowing snow that's a problem. It's limiting visibility. We've got some high winds across Wyoming and Montana today, wind advisory across Texas and Louisiana. Really, it's a windy day for most people, and that's going to increase the fire danger. Where are we seeing storms? I want you to watch this band of storms right here that's going through the southern portion of Nebraska, northern portion of Kansas, late this afternoon and into the evening hours. Eventually, this will continue to track to the southeast and into Kansas City through the late night hours tonight, shortly after dinner time, and then you'll be dry through the overnight hours. I'm not expecting anything severe out of this. However, a strike of lightning, a rumble of thunder is absolutely likely. It's absolutely possible, or more likely, as we head into the late night hours. Then it's a whole soaker event as we head into the early morning hours across the Tennessee Valley. in the southeast. Better chances for storms down to the south tomorrow and then into Florida by Friday. So that's a very, very quick look at your severe weather risk. Let's go ahead, let's break this down for you hour by hour. Do we have anyone today watching from Nebraska, Kansas, or Colorado? Let's take a look at the timeline for storms. By about 3 o'clock this afternoon, what we're going to see are a few storms popping up just north of, what is this right here? Is this highway, is this I-60? Maybe, we don't see it, I-80 right here. Just north of the highway, we're watching for a few storms popping up, slowly tracking down to the south. This will be your biggest risk today. We could see some strong winds with this, some small hail possible as well. As we head into the late evening hours, we see these storms moving down into Kansas City. Again, some heavy rain, strike of lightning, rumble of thunder is the biggest hazards here. I'm not too worried about that severe weather concern in Kansas City, but it may limit your visibility on the highways, on the roadways, especially because it's dark at this time of day, or this time of night. St. Louis here, we've got a few more showers and storms moving through the overnight hours. As you wake up tomorrow morning, you should be mostly dry. After that, the risk is down to the south. Now, I'm watching for one area in particular. We're watching for a band of storms from Mississippi to Alabama that could bring us a little bit of hail. I'll show you your hail model here in just a few minutes, and you'll see exactly why I'm thinking that we could see hail in this area. We'll zoom down here in a minute, but you can see that we've got some yellows trying to move into our hail model here. What does that mean? That means that we could see some larger hail in this area. Let's watch this one more time. So we're zooming down. We're watching for early Thursday morning. We've got storms in this area. Small hail is possible, but it's going to be a pretty low risk. We've got a lot of storms, right? So we're watching some of those more isolated storms in the Memphis area. And every now and then, we're trying to bring in quarter-size hail to these storms. It's a low chance, very low chance. I didn't even make a hail map for it, but don't be surprised if we get some isolated reports of larger hail tomorrow. Check out this little band of storms that goes anywhere from central Mississippi through the central portion of Alabama and Georgia. Just to the west of Atlanta, we could see a few storms produce some larger hailstones in there. Again, a low risk, but it's possible. Eric is asking, do you see any hail or heavy windstorms heading to Houston? Now, it will be windy today in Houston, but not because of storms. We've got some straight line winds that are possible today that could increase the fire risk. So I think that you guys are included in that wind advisory. If you're not included in that, just to the east of you, but no storms for Houston. Nothing severe at least. You guys are out of even that thunderstorm risk for tomorrow. So I'm not expecting anything severe in Houston. You guys put your weather questions in the comments section. We can answer those as we go throughout this forecast here. But again, tomorrow evening, we're watching for maybe a marginal risk. We don't have a risk on the board right now, but I could see the Storm Prediction Center upgrading this to a marginal risk here. Some strong winds and maybe up to quarter-size hail possible along I-20. Alrighty, moving on. Houston just in the corner of our map here. You guys are going to stay mostly dry. So a little recap, if you're just joining us, here's what we talked about in terms of severe weather for today. Everyone highlighted in red is your garden variety thunderstorm. A strike of lightning, maybe a rumble of thunder, but for the most part, those severe hazards are extremely low. Where we're expecting a severe thunderstorm or two today is going to be highlighted here in green. That'll be in southern Nebraska, northeastern Colorado, and northwestern Kansas. Now what we're going to see, especially for timeline, is going to be by this afternoon between about 3 and 6 o'clock in the evening. We've got a few isolated storms that could produce 60 to 65 mile per hour wind gusts and maybe up to quarter-size hail. That hail risk looks very low today. We have a better chance for strong winds. Meanwhile, while these storms are going on, we've got a whole soaker situation going on across Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, and Arkansas. We've got lots of rain coming into these areas. That will continue through the overnight hours tonight and into tomorrow morning. As we head into the mid-morning hours tomorrow, a line of storms forming from Tennessee all the way down to Mississippi is going to be our next concern. Not too concerned about this until tomorrow afternoon, when a few of those storms may look a little bit more impressive, but again, not all of our ingredients are there, so it's a low risk for severe weather right now. By early Friday morning, storms are now in the far southeasternmost portion of the state, mainly a Florida concern as we head into the rest of the day Friday. We're expecting some thunderstorms, but not a ton of severe weather action there. Now that's for February, the last week of February. March starts and it is on for our severe weather. We have several risks for severe weather early next week. So what we're watching for here is the 3rd through the 6th. Here we are on Sunday, a little bit of snow for the Midwest, not too concerned about that system for severe weather. What I'm watching for is Tuesday and Wednesday, a risk somewhere in this area. Maybe Tuesday, Arkansas to Kentucky, and then Wednesday, much more impressive, with a line of storms that we're expecting anywhere from Oklahoma all the way down to the western side of Texas. And models, while still about a week out, have been pretty consistent with this storm risk. So it looks like March could start off with several rounds of potential severe weather. If nothing else, at least it's rain. We absolutely need the rain in this area, especially with all those fire concerns that we've gotten over the last few days. All right, we're going to continue to watch this go through Wednesday into Thursday. Again, remember, this is not today and tomorrow. This is next Wednesday and Thursday, so I think that's the 3rd and the 4th. Line of storms continuing to track to the east. The severe risk here is questionable at this point. I think it's absolutely possible. Stick it on your radar. Make sure you come back and watch for the next forecast, because as we get closer to this event, we'll get more and more details of what we expect to happen. But it's not just that 1 or 2 chances for storms. We have another round of rain coming in late next week, again in areas that we need it the most. We have another chance to see some really good moisture. So over the next 5 days, it's still a pretty low chance. Oh, let's go back to this graphic here. Still pretty low chance for moisture in Texas and New Mexico, but thankfully, as we head into that 5th, 6th, and 7th day, so this time next week, we see a lot more moisture in this area, which is where we need it the most. In the meantime, enjoy that moisture down to the south. We've got a lot of rain moving in on Thursday and Friday, all of that for our southern states. All right, any last minute questions before we move on to temperatures? Because our temperatures, while staying warm for this time of the year, they kind of do this, right? Up, down, seasonably warm, then we get a little bit cooler, but still it doesn't feel like February. We've got those reds on the board. Still pretty warm out there. In some places, 10, 20 degrees above average. So if your average this time of the year is 50 degrees, maybe you're sitting in the mid-60s today. I think that the high here in Oklahoma City today is in the low 70s. Yeah, it's going to be gorgeous today. We have a little bit of a cool down coming this weekend. You can see that that colder air is trying to make it into the U.S. We've got a little bit of snow happening in this area as well. But for the most part, we warm back up quite nicely early next week. We're going to talk temperatures here. Ooh, 72 tomorrow in Oklahoma City, 82 in Dallas. That's gorgeous. 61 in Denver, 61 in Kansas City, and 63 in Memphis. A little bit of a cool down later in this week, and then we warm back up early next week. Let's take a look into March now. I know this says the 1st through the 5th, but it's actually the 2nd through the 6th. This is your extended temperature outlook. It does look like we will stay above average for your warm temperatures. Temperatures are going to be warmer than what we would normally see this time of the year. For everyone highlighted in red, and we have a higher likelihood if you're in those darker red colors. So you're most likely going to stay pretty warm as we head into the first week of March. And we've got some good rain coming in as well. Again, in those places that we need it the most. We're getting more rainfall than usual, more rainfall than we would normally get this time of the year, anywhere from Texas and into Oklahoma, all the way up into the Midwest. So we absolutely need that rain. We're very, very grateful for it. And hey, if you watched the forecast yesterday, you saw me go live from Denver, from the Raising Hail Tour in Denver, Colorado. We had so much fun going live there. We have had so much fun at all of these Raising Hail Tour events. Thanks for joining us if you came to any of these events. We've had 5 so far. We have 1 more in Minneapolis next Tuesday. So you still have time to get your tickets for our Minneapolis event on March 3rd. Head to raising-hail-tour.com to get your tickets. I do have a discount code if you DM the Hail Trace account or my meteorologist page. We'll give you a discount code for your tickets. Minneapolis, Minnesota, we've never been there on the Raising Hail Tour, so we're very excited to bring that hail forecast to Minneapolis. Derek Klein is going to be presenting the forecast. He's going to be showing off some new features of Hail Trace as well. He has a great forecast. If you haven't seen it yet, absolutely get your tickets and check that out. All right, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We are very, very active on those social media pages. We do lots of fun weather content. We give you updates on the weather this week, the weather today, the weather this hour. But then we also look ahead, what's happening in March. We'll be talking about that on our social media pages. So follow us over there. And give us a call if you're interested in a hail, wind, or tornado map. Give us a call at 855-334-4245 or email us at info@hailtrace.com. Head over to our website, hailtrace.com, for more information on what we do here. We have over 15 meteorologists here at Hail Trace, many of those mapping storms 24/7, so we are happy to help you with a wind, hail, or tornado map. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we'll see you back here same time, same place for your forecast.